Modesty is indeed a virtue. One should dress in a reserved manner, that is to say, with modesty, as one doesn't need superficialities in this area. Secondly, with modest dress for male or female, as in olden days, it helps to preserve a virtuous way and mindset. Of course, these things need to be important already to the individual in order to be recognized at all. In a contemptible world, one would do right to behave and dress with reservation, instead of pride, conceit, arrogance, showy ostentation, and other ills that individuals in the world inflict upon themselves. On the other side, alternatively, immodesty can definitely lead to taking human relationships with too much haste and irreverence. One then tends to take feelings and emotions as barometers for moving through life, and these, with no grounding in thought or decent behavior, can easily lead to destruction for the errant individual. Now, the reason for having virtue and modesty within a romantic relationship is one of great value. It entails respect for the self and the other individual, both in the present and the future outlook. Since a human being only has one life, it's important to have in mind to do things right. So why then virtue and modesty and doing things right? It's to build the future on solid ground. One would want the self and the other individual involved to be preserved for each other. This kind of thinking and action creates deep bonds of lasting love and relationship. Alternatively, building on lack of self-control and cheap, meaningless past or current relationships is not the way to go. It forms habits involving a lack of relational discipline and even respect for other people. So then, secondly, the question becomes, why is this actually that important in life? Modesty and respect within the self, within actions, and for the other individuals involved along the way to one's destination means not looking back with regret of bad choices that have led to bad and dire consequences or destructive ends. One can be at peace in the mind. Therefore, preserve modesty and respect. If you are having trouble keeping modesty and reserved in dress or lifestyle, prayer or the spiritual inclination to reach for assistance may be able to help, even if unfamiliar with that God above. One could pray, for instance, for the help to turn a life around, even though not a churchgoer or altogether spiritual behaving person. Knowing the value of one's life, or at least understanding one's life is somehow valuable, is needed for this outreach to make much sense. Keep modesty and reservation in both life and attire. Modesty well kept remains a diamond in the midst of rubbish throughout the world.